2024, I tried to set some habits, 4 important habits. I wanted to read my Bible and pray every day for an hour. I wanted to close my rings every day. I wanted to post a video every day. And I wanted to participate in some of the values that we wanted to live out in our church community, like having community meals with people, sharing the gospel with people. And I would say I did not do well in all of those goals. There is one that I did almost every day, and that is I exercised and closed my rings on my Apple Watch almost every day. In fact, it's 11:30 p.m. right now, and I just finished closing my rings, so my watch is charging over in the corner, so I'll be ready for tomorrow. That's kind of what this year was like in some ways. It was a lot of back and forth and up and down. I did miss closing my rings technically one day because I was flying from the US to Taiwan, and the time change, I miscalculated the 12-hour time change that I would go through, and as a result, I missed my rings by 50 calories or something. It was pretty crazy. But in 2025, I started I'm thinking about 2025 and wondering, what can I do to improve my life? What do I want my life to be like by the end of 2025? 1 year from now, when I'm reflecting on 2025, what will I have wanted to accomplish? And there are a few books that I've been reading and a few things I think that are going to be very helpful in thinking and planning for 2025. One thing I'm really happy that I did on the get-go is I took a half-day retreat with my wife, and we started planning out some of the big things that we want to do. And one of the things that really stuck out to me was a story I actually heard from my kids. They brought it home from school one day, and it's the story of little rocks and big rocks. Apparently, I don't know if it's like an old Japanese proverb or something like that, but basically, if you put the little rocks into a bin first, and then you try to fit the big rocks in, the big rocks will not fit. But if you put the big rocks in first, and then the little rocks in after that, you can actually fit everything all in the same bin. It's a pretty cool concept of saying, put the big rocks in first. What's most important? Set that time, that energy, that money aside, and then figure out what else you think you might need to do after that. Get those little things there. And I think oftentimes I really do the opposite of that. I start with all the little things that I can compound into a day, and then I roll over into the next day, and then the next day after that, and I don't do the big projects that really make a difference. That kind of reminded me of this book, Focus Project, that I read this year and didn't really implement the ideas. I said, okay, this is a cool concept. You set aside 2 hours a day to dedicate to the project that you think is most important. And then you put that 2 hours into it, and you're going to make huge improvements on whatever that thing is. But the catch is that you do that for one project per month. You can finish kind of 12 intensive projects or get 12 things started in a year. I think that's a really cool concept. I actually started listening to a book, 12-Week Year, which I think has probably similar ideas to Focus Project. I also read through a book called Buy Back Your Time, and that is a book all about getting other people involved in your team that can help you accomplish more things, because you're focused on doing what you do best and what gives you the most energy so that your company or your organization can be most successful. And I think that's a really valuable concept, buy back your time, to really do what is most valuable to you personally, and then also what's the thing that you can contribute the most to your family, your organization, your business, whatever that is. I'm thinking about 2025, what do I want those things to be? And what do I want to see at the end of the year? What are some of the focus projects that I want to set aside time for and think about? What are some of the big rocks that are most important? And I think one thing I want to get back to by the end of 2025 and to continue doing is to have some daily habits, some routines, because I think those daily habits and routines have been a huge part of me being able to be a little bit more consistent than I've been in the past. I think I'm actually not a super consistent person all the time, but to be able to be a little bit more consistent than I've been over the years. And in the area of fitness and being able to work out every day and get things going, get the rings closed, all that, I'm excited about those kinds of habits. And I brought my prop along today to remind myself, hey, those habits, whether it's getting up early in the morning and spending some time alone for spiritual recharging, praying and reading, for me, the Bible, whether it's the physical habits of exercising, getting out there, other habits you might have, I want to think about those things and really set aside and implement those throughout 2025. I'm a few days ahead of 2025, thinking, what do I want that year to be like? And going into it, I'm hoping, I'm praying that it can be a year where I continue to become all that I was meant to be, and to live out those things through the daily habits, through setting aside the big chunks of time for the important projects, for putting the big rocks in the bin first, and for bringing people in on the team together to really work towards that goal, each of us doing what we do best, what adds most value, and also what we get the most enjoyment out of. I hope this is helpful for you as you think about your 2025 goals, and maybe you can share one of those crazy ideas that you have for 2025. Let me know, and I'm excited to grow together with you this next year.